film is just a powerful medium, and the lights go out, and you're drawn. If the film it works, you're drawn into it, and you don't even realize that you're. If it's a good film, you forget about the fact that you're sitting in this theater watching it, and you become a part of it.
In She's Gotta Have It, School Days, and Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee shows a vision that is both personal and political.
Well, Do the Right Thing, which we shot this past summer in Bedford-Stuyvesant, it takes place in the hottest day of New York City, and it's about how heat affects the already tense racial climate here in New York City.
In Do the Right Thing, Mookie, played by Spike Lee, tries to find common ground with his employer's son.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
Magic Johnson.
Who's your favorite movie star?
Eddie Murphy.
Who's your favorite rock star? Prince. You're a Prince fan.
Boss, Bruce.
Prince.
Bruce.
Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas.
It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself. They're not really black. I mean, they're black, but they're not really black. They're more than black. It's different.
It's different?
Yeah, to me, it's different.
Pino, deep down inside, I think you wish you were black. Laugh if you want to. You know, your hair is kinkier than mine. What does that mean? And you know what they say about dark Italians?
You know, I've been listening and reading.
You've been reading now?
I read. I've been reading about your leaders, Reverend Al, Mr. Dew, Sharp Tone, Jesse. Keep hope alive.
Don't talk about Jesse.
And even the other guy, what's his name? Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan.
Right, sorry. Minister Farrakhan. Anyway, Minister Farrakhan always talks about the so-called day when the black man will rise. We will one day, what does he say? We will one day rule the earth as we did in our glorious past.
Yeah, that's right.
What past you talking about? I mean, what did I miss?
We started civilization.
Man, keep dreaming, man. Then you woke up.
As a student at New York University, Spike Lee's first film, The Answer, confronted racism in a film classic.
The Answer is a film about an out-of-work black screenwriter who's hired to direct a $50 million remake of Birth of a Nation.
Miles Toomer? Hi, how are you? I'm so pleased you chose to come. Oh, don't be alarmed by my appearance. In actuality, we both want the same things. You have been chosen to direct a film. Not a black film, either. Did you see The Wiz? 30 million bananas. We died at the box office. We have conducted a nationwide search and selected you to direct the $50 million remake of D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation. Miles, you'll never have a chance like this again. This calls for a drink. America made a costly mistake by bringing slaves from Africa. A greater blunder was the Reconstruction period. A cancer has been consuming a once wholesome body. The cities are being overrun by blacks and half-breeds. The streets are not safe. The climate is right. This country has been slowly moving closer and closer to the right. The time has come for action. The time has come for the answer. This film will incite massive race riots across the nation. Once again, the so-called Afro-American will be put in his place. Things will be as they once were. BN. Before Negroes.
Well, the faculty hated it. Well, they said it was, they talked about film grammar, but to me, I felt it was, they didn't like that I was doing something about somebody who they considered the father of cinema. But the fact that that film, indirectly probably had hundreds of black people lynched, had nothing to do with it, they just still considered, they just looked as a, artistic, a great piece of cinema. But, which he did do a lot of stuff and is a great film if you want to look at it like that, but when people getting killed behind that shit, they never talked about that in class, though. The third year is when you do a thesis film, and my thesis film was called Joe's Bed-Stuy Barbershop We Cut Heads. Bed-Stuy being short for Bedford-Stuyvesant, in a predominantly black neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. And won the Student Academy Award, I think, 1982. And it's about a struggling barber who turns his barbershop into a numbers joint and gets mixed up with some small-time gangsters. So it's sort of like a gangster genre film.
Come on, man, give me a break.
Huh? We got customers waiting.
Hey, did you vote?
No, I don't waste my time voting.
Guess don't make much difference, man. Hey, you think Veganomics is bad? 4 more years of koch ain't exactly no picnic,
Hard times for sure.
Lord, your cons hurt me.
Ma'am, what will it be?
377. Whenever I have my cons hurt me, I play 377. No, 377, my dear.
I know, ma'am. 377.
It's 75 cents now. And you take pennies? So it's all I got now. And there's a Brooklyn handle.
Handle.
377.
Ma'am, what are your initials?
Or HB for Hannah. Hannah Brown.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Oy.
Who's next on the haircut? You next?
Yeah, man.
Why don't you get one of these, man?
Man, who did that?
I did it myself.
Man, you should let me go first, since I have more to do.
Now, all I'm getting is a wax job. After I get the wax job, the chair is yours.
Now, that matter hit 9 months. Must not be dreaming right.
Hey, Silas, maybe you could help me out. You dream, don't you?
Lately, I've been dreaming about white people.
Yeah, now tell me, why is that?
Fletcher, I keep having this nightmare where I'm the last black left in the world. Also, there's no chocolate, coffee, or brown sugar anywhere. I'm just chilling out in Brooklyn Heights. Suddenly, I hear a voice yelling, "Look, there goes a nigger." Man, I was burning rubber on my pro-kids. They chased me through Park Slope, Bensonhurst, Prospect Park. Finally tired out at Coney Island. I screamed for mercy, but their craving for sweet, dark chocolate was too much for them. I always wake up in a cold sweat just as they chew on me.
Let's see here. UVW. Whiskers, whiskey, white people. 721. Wish me luck, Hershey boy.
Them joints, all right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Wonderful. Wonderful.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a real photographer.
I'm no real camera. I'm tired. It's been a long and busy day.
So you happy? I'm good.
But the most important thing I got because of that film was I was able to get a grant from New York State Council. You know, anytime you apply for grants, you have to have submit previous work. And so anytime I apply for a grant, I could always show, you know, We Cut Heads. And so eventually that got me money from New York State Council of the Arts and the Jerome Foundation, which I used that money for She's Gotta Have It. What we did with She's Gotta Have It was really turn the tables around, and this film is really, it's about a woman who's really living her life as a man, and where she's the one that's in control, and where she's the one that has the other three people dangling. And since I wanted to be, you know, accurate as possible, we made up a survey, so I was just asking, you know, female friends of mine to just answer some questions. Not that we were gonna base Nola Darling on their answers, but I still had to have a general ballpark ideal of what, you know, contemporary women we're thinking about. But I think the best thing that came out of the survey was that Nola Darling could not represent one single woman, because, I mean, just from the range of answers we got from the survey, I mean, from people still virgins to women that were, you know, pretty wild. So it was not like just one particular thing that Nola could represent. So that really freed me up in saying, I'm just gonna write her the way I wanna write her. The reason why She's Gotta Have It such a surprisingly large white following, I think, was the sex in the film. Because it was just kind of new and shocking, you know, the stuff that we did in that film. And then we, you know, the next film out, you know, School Days is dealing with stuff that really pertains particularly to black people. Is kind of different, because I can't tell you how many times people came up, you know, white film goers that came up and said they love She's Gotta Have It, but I didn't see it next film. So, I mean, anytime somebody, if you have a new filmmaker and people are crazy about the first workout, it just seems sense to me, since they love the first film, they want to see a second film.
In School Days, Lee focused on conflicts among students at a black college.
Well, School Days is really my 4 years at Morehouse College, which is a predominantly black college in Atlanta, Georgia. And with that film, I tried to jam-pack my 4 years of college, my matriculation as a college student, to homecoming weekend. And, you know, a lot of critics have said that, you know, that the film is scattered and stuff like that. There was just too much in it. But, I mean, that was my intention going in, not to be scattered, but just try to put as many ideals as possible into the film. I was not surprised when the film was attacked as racist, you know, and a lot of these people were black people were saying that, so it doesn't, I mean, but those are the same type of people that we had in the movie too, so it just made me, I knew what was in the film was not, none of that stuff was made up.
Spike Lee not only stands behind his movies as a director, he appears in them as well.
I mean, I don't consider myself an actor today. It was just, you know, I'm a writer, director, filmmaker, and I thought I could do Mars. You know, it was a Lamb, and I did Half Pint, and now I'm in this new film, but it's really given me leverage to getting my films made, and I don't think I'm the kind of actor who could carry a whole film on my back. So if I could just stand off in the background and contribute and not get in the way, then I'll continue to do that. Ernest Dickerson, who's my DP, my cameraman, we've been together since film school, and we have it worked out, so he knows what to do when I'm in front of the camera, and it's no problem at all.
The more involved he is in his movies, the happier Spike Lee is.
It's the whole process of filmmaking that makes me happiest, because you begin with an ideal, you know, just maybe one sentence, and then 2 or 3 years later, you know, it's a movie.
A rash of racial incidents in New York's neighborhoods gave Lee the idea for Do the Right Thing. Sal's famous pizzeria, the only white business on the block, becomes the focus of tensions in the neighborhood.
Yo, Mook! Mookie!
What?
How come you got no brothers up on the wall?
Man, ask Sal, right?
Hey, Sal, how come you got no brothers up on the wall here?
You want brothers on the wall? Get your own place. You can do what you want to do. You can put your brothers and uncles and nieces and nephews, your stepfather, stepmother, whoever you want, you see? But this is my pizzeria. American Italians on the wall only. Take it easy, man.
Huh?
And you, hey, don't stop with me today.
What? Yeah, that might be fine, Sal, but you own this. Rarely do I see any American Italians eating in here. All I see is black folks. So since we spend much money here, we do have some say.
Sal does not see himself as an enemy, as he explains to his son.
I'm beat.
Daddy, you know, I've been thinking, maybe we should sell this place. Get out while we're still ahead and alive.
You really think you know what's best for us, Pino?
Maybe we could, can we sell this and open up a new one in our own neighborhood?
There's too many pizzerias already there.
And maybe we could try something different.
What am I gonna do? That's all I know. What am I doing? I've been here 25 years. Where am I going?
I'm sick of niggas. It's like I come to work. It's Planet of the Apes. I don't like being around them. The animals.
Why you got so much anger in you?
Why I tell you why? My friends, they laugh at me. They laugh right in my face. They tell me, go to bed, Stuy. Go feed the movies.
Do your friends put money in your pocket, Pino? Food on your table? They pay your rent, the roof over your head? Huh?
A critical and commercial hit, Do the Right Thing has generated controversy. Some even call it dangerous.
The problem is that there's so few black films that are released each year that when one does come out, I mean, there's 25 million black people here in the United States, and one film cannot be, I mean, you can't make one film for 25 million black people. It can't be everybody's film. And so when this happens, you know, people get upset. I mean, even though I didn't like The Color Purple, I think that's one of the reasons why people had a lot of problems with it. If Color Purple had been one of 15 films released that year, instead of one of one, you wouldn't have had the uproar. But since this was going to be the one film for black people that year, you know, people were upset because you just don't have that balance. I mean, if the tables have been turned and a film like Psycho was the only film that represented white people that whole year, I mean, it would have been the same thing. For the most part, audiences are expected to be spoon-fed. And I put the work out there, and when the film comes out, people always ask me, so what did you mean? So what do you mean? I just get tired of explaining. I don't really think a lot of times it's my duty to explain. I mean, a lot of that stuff is in school days is left up to interpretation, and I think that the audience has to do. I think the films I do, a lot of times just make audiences think, and people got lazy brains and don't want to do that and want to be told what they ought to think.